Good, happy Friday morning, March 26th, 2021. I'm Riley King, and welcome to this Friday morning edition of the Riley King Newscast, right here on the Riley King Network. We have a lot of news to get to this Friday morning, so let's begin. First up, we're going to take a look at your COVID-19 numbers in New Hampshire. Let's take a look at those right now. And here is a check of those COVID-19 numbers for all of you in New Hampshire. There are 82,039 number of people in New Hampshire tested positive for COVID-19. There are 1,229 number of deaths from COVID-19 in New Hampshire. There are 82 current number of hospitalizations for COVID-19 in New Hampshire. And that is a look at your COVID-19 numbers in New Hampshire. All Granite Staters age 16 and older will be eligible for COVID-19 vaccination next week. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9.
For the easy and the complex, the small stuff and the big, we're here with the affordable local loans, easy to manage accounts, and financial advice to help you blaze a trail, figure stuff out, and make your money go farther. We're Granite State Credit Union. Live bold.
By the end of next week, Governor Chris Sununu says every Granite Stater 16 and older who wants a vaccine will be able to register for it.
We feel fairly confident that everyone should be able to get their first shot by Memorial Day, which is pretty incredible. We thought that might take into June, July, or even August later of this year.
The state is combining the remaining phases of 3A and 3B into one group and then spacing out registration next week. On Monday, March 29th, people 40 and older can sign up. On Wednesday, March 31st, those 30 and up will be eligible. And then on Friday, April 2nd, anyone 16 and older.
We're still maintaining our philosophy of doing it by age, and we're ensuring that we will have enough spots for everybody that wants to come in.
Sununu says about 150,000 people are in each of those age brackets. Despite some issues during the launch of Phase 2B on Monday, Sununu is confident the state's vaccine registration site, Vinny, will be able to handle the surge in signups.
Could it be slow? Yes. Look, anytime you have a rush of people in, there's always the potential for things to be slow. I just like Monday, it's not going to crash. It's not going to fail. We have no reason to believe that that's going to happen.
The governor says he will sign up for his own shot on Monday.
You don't have to be there at 8 a.m. Literally hundreds of thousands of spots available. So I will not be signing up at 8 a.m. I'll probably wait till the afternoon.
The state does not plan to add any more of the fixed vaccination sites. Officials say the ones that are up and running right now will be able to handle the capacity through Memorial Day. Reporting live in Concord, Mike Cronin, WMUR News 9.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Out-of-state college students not eligible for vaccinations in New Hampshire. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9.
What is there not to love about Franklin Pierce?
The Pierce Promise New Hampshire Scholarship Program is new at Franklin Pierce for high schools.
The vaccine rollout will not include out-of-state college students. A firm no from the governor.
No, it's for new permanent New Hampshire residents. If you're a resident of Colorado but you're going to school here, no, you cannot get the vaccine. You can go to Colorado and get the vaccine for Colorado residents, but you will not qualify for the vaccine here.
The governor says out-of-state students also don't fit a 2-dose vaccine timeline if they leave New Hampshire at the end of the school year before their second shot is due.
Durham is ranking third in the state for the most COVID cases.
Durham's town manager says college communities like his face a unique challenge. He says about 60% of the 15,000 students enrolled at the University of New Hampshire are from out of state.
It's important to get vaccinations to them as soon as possible. Their lack of vaccination creates a clear and present risk for the rest of the population.
He says sending students traveling for vaccines is also a concern and suggests a second look at the plan. At St. Anselm College, most students are from New Hampshire and other New England states. The college says it's just relieved those states seem on track to offer vaccines to student age groups soon.
We're not ever going to put ourselves in a position of second-guessing the governor, prioritizing New Hampshire residents. Really, it's a matter of days or weeks anyway. All of the states in the country will be making 16 and up eligible by May 1st. So,
Jean Mackin, WMUR News.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Governor warns of spring surge of COVID-19 cases continue to rise. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9.
What is there not to love about Franklin Pierce?
The Pierce Promise New Hampshire Scholarship Program is new at Franklin.
And officials believe that we'll see rising cases over the next few weeks, but say the key is managing deaths and hospitalizations. Daily, average, and active cases are all increasing in New Hampshire, and with a 4.4% test positivity rate, community spread has been going up during what the governor considers to be a spring surge, somewhat similar to what we saw at this time last year. But of course, at that time, there was no vaccine and testing was limited. Health officials are concerned that people may be perceiving the loosening of restrictions as a signal that they don't need to take precautions, but that is far from the truth.
There's a real balancing act, I think, to be had here. It's not all or nothing. Even though we're trying to loosen restrictions, we still need people to pay attention to what's happening with the virus. It's still in our communities. It's still spreading person to person.
The rise in cases is mostly being seen among younger people, but there is a slow but steady decrease in infections among people 60 and older, and that is because they are still getting the vaccine as that rolls out. Reporting live in Concord, Mike Cronin, WMUR News.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. New Hampshire mask mandate to remain in effect for at least 3 more weeks, governor says. Mask order first took effect November 20th, 2020. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR.
For the easy and the complex, the small stuff and the big, we're here with the affordable local loans, easy to manage accounts, and financial advice to help you blaze a trail, figure stuff out, and make your money go farther. We're Granite State Credit Union. Live bold.
Curious, the mask mandate, I believe that's up soon. What's the outlook on that in terms of when there might be a change?
Well, the mask mandate is, we are re-upping it for 21 days, same with the state of emergency and all of that. So we kind of, as we have done all through this entire process, we just take it in kind of bits and chunks, and we'll re-up that for at least the next 21 days. Look, we just crossed 400 cases today. We still have individuals that are 65 and up that still haven't received their second shot. So we just take that into consideration. Still not a majority, but still a large portion of that population hasn't been fully vaccinated yet. So those are the types of things we really look at in terms of making sure we protect that vulnerable population. While we're making some loosening of restrictions, I think Dr. Chan and his team have done a great job providing additional guidance, loosening things up as things are getting better and better all the time. But yeah, we'll kind of just take it in this next chunk and see where we are in a few weeks.
Okay, and there you go on that video. Interest in nursing careers high as pandemic continues. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9.
have this unique opportunity to work with a set of patients that are going through something that's very scary.
Savannah Montgomery is a nursing student at Rivier University in Nashua and is currently working with COVID-19 patients at Catholic Medical Center in Manchester.
We as nurses have the responsibility of being there to care for our patients, and so this presented an opportunity to be able to really get into that patient care aspect and learn about a new disease.
Interest in nursing careers is generally up during the pandemic. Susan Heward represents the community college system of New Hampshire that has nursing programs in all 7 of their colleges.
We've talked over the last few years about healthcare heroes, and that really is inspiring the next generation that's looking at college, as well as folks who've been out working.
Heward says many people are seeing nursing and other related healthcare fields as stable employment in an uncertain time.
I think in particular with licensed nursing assistants, there is a huge need across the organizations, whether it's hospitals, long-term care facilities.
Whether it's a more stable career path or a way to lend a hand in a noble fight, interest in the nursing field is up. Montgomery will officially enter the field when she graduates in a couple of months.
You get this unique experience where we are there to help the patients in times of need, and that's a unique experience that you don't get with every other profession.
Officials said that they hope the interest in this field continues because of the great need for nurses in many fields across the board. Reporting live, Mandy Hirschberger, WMUR News 9.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Biden hosts first press conference, emergency at the border. Let's take a listen to that video from ABC News.
The other major news this Thursday night, President Biden holding that first formal news conference, as he pointed out on day 65 of his administration. He began by noting his new goal. Instead of 100 million shots in arms in the first 100 days, now 200 million shots of the COVID vaccines. And he said it's ambitious, but that he believes we can do it. But the situation at the southern border quickly took center stage. The president said this is not happening because he's now the president, because he's a good guy. He says previous administrations have seen this too, and particularly this time of year when conditions on that dangerous trek are a little bit better. He pointed to violence back home, crumbling economies, hurricanes, and earthquakes. But his own Secretary of Homeland Security has said before that what we're seeing now is the worst surge in 20 years. The president acknowledging to our Cecilia Vega the situation inside some facilities is unacceptable, and his new pledge tonight. He also addressed the mass shootings in this country, 2 in less than a week, and what he wants Congress to do. On several of these key issues, he said, we're going to get a lot done, and he warned if Republicans in the Senate continue, in his words, to use the filibuster to block solutions, if there's a complete lockdown, he said, as a consequence of the filibuster, then we'll have to go beyond. Our chief White House correspondent, Cecilia Vega, asking the president about those conditions that we've seen in those facilities, migrant children here in the U.S.
65 days into his administration, President Biden walking out to face reporters for his first press conference, and it was the emergency at the southern border now threatening to overshadow his agenda that dominated. The questions striking a nerve.
The Customs and Border Protection Facility in Donna, Texas, I was there, is at 1,556% capacity right now with mostly unaccompanied minors. There are kids that are sleeping on floors. They are packed into these pods. What is your reaction to these images that have come out from that particular facility? Is what's happening inside acceptable to you?
That's a serious question, right? Is it acceptable to me? Come on. That's why we're going to be moving 1,000 of those kids out quickly. That is totally unacceptable.
Tonight, there are some 16,000 unaccompanied migrant children now in U.S. custody, a near record. We spoke to migrants at the border, like 9-year-old Josel, who made the long journey from Honduras without his parents. The phone number for his grandfather in North Carolina written on that pink hat.
Este es el número de tu abuelo, ¿verdad? This is his grandfather's phone number.
Many of those migrants said they made that dangerous journey north because they believed it would be easier now.
Sir, you blame the last administration, but is your messaging in saying that these children are and will be allowed to stay in this country and work their way through this process, encouraging families like Joselle's to come.
The idea that I'm going to say, which I would never do, if an unaccompanied child ends up at the border, we're just going to let them starve to death and stay on the other side. No previous administration did that either, except Trump. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it.
The other urgent crisis, those 2 mass shootings in the span of a week, 18 lives lost. But facing the political reality that with the 50-50 split in the Senate, his party does not have the votes to pass sweeping gun control legislation, the president issuing this warning to Republicans, signaling he could back changing rules in the Senate to push his agenda through.
We're ready to get a lot done. And if we have to, if there's complete lockdown and chaos as a consequence of the filibuster, then we'll have to go beyond what I'm talking about.
So let's get to Cecilia Vega with us tonight from the White House. Cecilia, we all heard you ask the president about what you saw firsthand from the border. Let's show everyone at home again that moment. The 9-year-old boy that you met, the mother who said she sent her child because of new hope with a new administration. We heard the president say what a desperate act that is for a mother to send her child alone on that journey. He said it simply proves his argument that the U.S. must help in those Northern Triangle countries if we ever want to stem the flow of migrants to the U.S. That's a long-term effort. In the short term, though, Cecilia, he was pressed in that room on transparency in those facilities here in the U.S.
Yeah, and David, the president said that he is committed to giving journalists access to these overcrowded facilities that we have been talking about for so long now because we have been denied access repeatedly. He did not give a time frame for when that will happen. The president said today also they are working to more quickly reunite those families using those phone numbers so many of those children have on them, like the ones that we saw. He seemed to suggest that if that doesn't get fixed soon, people will be losing their jobs. But David, I can tell you, we spoke to that little boy's grandfather today. He has received a phone call from authorities. He is now trying to figure out how to reunite with his grandson.
All right, Cecilia Vega at the White House with a very interesting development on that front. Thank you for that.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Thank you for joining us for this morning edition of the Riley King Newscast right here on the Riley King Network. I hope you all have a great rest of your day, and we'll see you back here later on today for another newscast. I'll have a news report coming up in a little bit. Goodbye, everyone.